Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm really excited to be doing a palette bingo here on my channel. I have so much fun with these kinds of challenges, and today I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This is a beautiful palette that has been available on the market for quite some time now, a few months, probably about just over half a year actually. And I have had my eye on it for quite some time, but when it recently went on sale on Sephora, I could not resist it. Like, I truly could not resist it. The price was so good, and the color selection is absolutely beautiful in here as well. It contains 21 shades that are primarily neutrals and then some muted colors, and I felt like this would be a really great addition to my makeup collection. I do have some of these similar sorts of tones, but I mean, you could never have enough neutrals in my eyes. I mean, you definitely can. I do not need another neutral palette, but I don't have a lot of these more like muted colors, and I felt like this would just be a really great everyday kind of palette for me, and I'm really excited to play with it. So as you can see, I have swatched a couple of these shades. I've worn a couple shades on my eyes, but I really love to familiarize myself with a palette with a palette bingo because it takes me out of what I would expect from the palette, and it makes me create a entirely new color scheme that I may not have pulled from the palette. So I'm really excited to just hop in and pick out some shades. We're just gonna go from shade 1 down to 21, and I'm gonna draw 5 colors to create my first look with this palette. So I'm just gonna hop right into it. I have variables 1 to 21 in my Pretty Random app, and we're gonna just generate the first shade. So the first shade I got is number 20, and this deep metallic blue shade right here called Radio is my first shade selection. You can see it is a metallic deep teal, and it's highly reflective. It looks absolutely beautiful. This is definitely a color I would not have picked on my own, so I'm already super excited to see where else we go with this color selection. So the next shade I'm gonna pick is going to be number 9. Oh shit. So shade number 9 is this absolutely beautiful deep brick red kind of shade. This is a matte finish, and I'm really excited for this color pairing so far. It swatched a little bit more sheer than I expected, which I think is going to be a really good thing. And yeah, let's just see what else I draw. I am actually getting really excited for this. I'm happy that I'm picking some colors to play with. So the next shade is going to be number 21, which is the shade Big Sky right here. It is more of a like sea blue kind of shade with a lot of silver kind of shift. Oh my god, this is gonna be so much fun. This is so not something I would ever pick out on my own. This is gonna be a lot of fun, so I cannot wait to pick those last 2 shades. Yeah, let's just keep going. Let's just keep rolling with it. So the next shade is going to be number 11. We are going for all the color because shade number 11 is this one dead center in the middle of the palette, which is called Guilt Trip. It is a metallic purple shade. Looks absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for this. So let's just draw that final shade so that I can start dreaming up a look to create with all of these guys. And shade number 19 is the final selection, which is this shade right here called Drift. So another cool toned metallic shade. It has a slight purple tone to it. It is this bottom shade right here. This is a beautiful color scheme, primarily metallic. So I'm thinking I might try to do something a little bit like oil slick kind of look with this, and then a warm crease because I only have the one matte. But I'm just gonna go off camera, come up with a little bit of an idea, and I will be right back to share with you guys the look I create with this gorgeous color scheme. So I figured I would just finish out my complexion. Makes this video go by so much faster for you guys. Now that I know what shades I'm working with, I knew I could just use my Project Pan items so that I could warm up my skin and just add a little bit more color to my complexion. I'm just gonna go with the shade Baja, which is the red matte shade. I'm gonna add this into my crease. Truly, I can't really do, well, I could do other things with it, but I'm excited to actually use this in the crease in combination with the blue shades. So I'm just gonna use the big, huge mirror that this palette has. Like, look at that massive mirror. It's amazing. So I'm going to just use this mirror and pop this into my crease. I am just gonna be quite liberal with this application. I feel like this eye look, I'm kind of just gonna go very grungy. I'm gonna start with the shade Guilt Trip. This one is kind of the odd metallic out, I feel like, because it has that true purple tone to it. And I'm just gonna pop it right into the center of the eye and blend and merge all of the other metallics kind of into it. So what I'm gonna do is add this onto primarily the central portion of my lid and then kind of just go from there. So, there's like no pigmentation on this. I did tap off my brush. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so there's a ton of fallout on my face from that shade. What I'm gonna do is actually tap off the excess from my brush, and then I'm gonna spray it with my Smashbox primer water. I did have this on hand just in case, because I'm not familiar with this formula. I was hoping it would be a bit more cooperative. With this eye, I just went right in with the wet brush, and it's much, much better. There's absolutely no fallout on my face compared to the other side. So I'm just gonna go into the deepest shade here called Drift, which is, again, that like purpley kind of shade. And I'm gonna pop that onto the outer corner. I'm, again, just gonna spray my brush. I'm not even gonna risk it with this shade or with this formula now. And I'm just gonna pop that onto my outer corner. I'm gonna just keep this look super messy to start off with. And then if I want to refine it, I can, but I think this is just the kind of color selection that like really leans itself towards a very messy, punky kind of look. So I'm just adding a touch of Baja onto that outer portion to really blend it into Drift. This is a color pairing you would not expect would work well together, but I'm feeling like it's actually blending really nicely together, which is something I'm shocked about, but I'm really, really excited about. So now what I want to do is put Radio onto the inner portion of the lid, and then I might top it with Big Sky, or I might end up just putting Big Sky onto the inner corner. Let's kind of see how this goes. This will be a very heavy eye for me, and I know with my small eyes, my hooded eyes as well, just because they're so small, it can really make my eyes look very heavy. So I might end up popping Big Sky in there just to brighten things up, but let's kind of see how things go. So Radio is that 20th shade right there. It's that beautiful deep navy kind of teal tone. And I'm just going to use the exact same brush. This is super easy. I'm just flipping the brush over. And with this one, I don't necessarily want it to look as pigmented, so I'm gonna try it relatively dry. I mean, the brush is still a little bit damp, but a little less dry than the other shades. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this one's applying almost like a matte without the setting spray on it, or the primer spray rather. And I'm getting still a lot of fallout from it. So these more colorful metallics definitely are suited towards being dampened. That's what I'm learning from this palette so far. So this is good. This is a good way to kind of learn to get to know the palette. And then I'm just gonna use the exact same brush that had Baja on it and just kind of buff the edge of that. A little bit nervous about how weird this looks. I think I'm just gonna use my pinky finger to pop Guilt Trip on top of this to bring that purple back, and I'm just gonna drag it kind of all over. Honestly, guys, I don't know what I'm doing here. The amount of fallout, even when you use your finger, is kind of crazy. So now that I've covered up every last bit of Radio, I'm just going to use my pinky finger to apply it to just this outer portion of the lid between the shades Drift and Guilt Trip. Yeah, you know what? I like the blue placed there way more than I liked it on the inner portion. For the lower lash line, I want to go back into Baja, that matte red orange shade, and just run that across my entire lower lash line. So I'm gonna go in with the only shade I haven't yet used, which is Big Sky. I just popped it onto a small Real Techniques, what is this? The accent brush. And I'm going to put it onto the inner portion of my lower lash line. My camera died, so I look very different now. This eye is extremely dramatic. But basically all that I did in order to finish off the eye is I did exactly what I said I was gonna do on the lower lash line, which is I went in with the shades Big Sky, which is this one right here, and Radio, this one. Big Sky on the inner portion and Radio on the outer portion. And then I just used a light dusting of Big Sky also on the inner portion of my eye to bring a little bit more light onto the lid again. And I think it really brightened it up, but then I decided that I really wanted to even add more brightness since all of the shades are very deep. So in my waterline, I went in with the Annabelle Waterline Matte, and this is in the shade Mint. I feel like I use this all the time in these kinds of challenges, but it really helps to amp up the look, and I feel like this color really brings out the blueness of Big Sky instead of it looking gray, because it did look like it was pulling kind of gray alongside the other shades, especially Drift, which is that more gray tone. So this is a lot of eye look for sure. I feel like it's definitely very dramatic, but I am really happy with it. I put on a couple coats of my Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara too to just really amp it up. So just to roll with the grungy kind of heavy vibe that I'm wearing right now, I'm gonna go in with this lip. This is a brown lipstick, but it does have a very much like blushy red kind of undertone as well. So this guy is the NYX Lip Lingerie in the shade Cabaret Show. This is a really comfortable liquid lip formula and really easy to apply. It's gonna look really good, I think, with this eye. I was thinking about doing more of like a burnt orange lip, but I'm just not feeling that right now. I've been really liking brown lips and nude lips as of late. Oh my gosh, my hair. Just to finish it all off, I think I want to just add in a little bit of this NYX Liquid Crystal Liner in the shade Crystal Hip. This is in my Project Pan Roulette right now, and I'm actually going to be filming that update today. So I'm just going to add a little touch of this onto the lid in the center, just to add a little bit of light and sparkle onto this crazy eye look. Here is the finished look. I'm really happy with the way that this look came together. I definitely did not anticipate to come out with a very like grungy kind of makeup look using the Born to Run palette. When I look at this palette, it just looks way more light and neutral than anything that this look is. Do you know what I mean? I feel like this is like the complete opposite of what I would anticipate going into a palette bingo with this palette would have looked like, but I'm really happy that I had a chance to explore this palette and play with those deeper shades and play with the colors that I may not have reached for. Like Big Sky is definitely one that I probably am not going to wear all that often. Same with Radio, and I just feel like this was the perfect introduction to this palette. I'm really happy that I had a chance to seriously play with this palette and explore and get to know these formulas as well. This is one palette where I'm just going to not risk it at all, and I'm going to always wet my brush with these metallics, but I think the result is beautiful, so I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. Let me know in the comments down below what you would have done with this color selection. I know this look is not for everyone. This is really not something that I would have done on my own either, but I had a lot of fun with it. So thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.